Carpesus, Ben and I went hunting up in North Texas. We had spent the past couple hours on a backfield of this property. We were leaving the property when Ben spied a hog out of my window.
Unless he's up on the hill behind the tree.
And we got out of the truck and we're looking for the hog, and he disappeared in a very short period of time. But he was behind the tree. We moved into the next pasture to get closer.
Alright, we gotta pick through the fence. This is a fence repair property. Are you ready, Ben?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
2 shots, 2 hits. 3 shots, 3 hits.
You're kidding me.
No, he's down. Wait till the cabin's clear for
Yep.
QC. Still down.
Yep. He's gonna bleed out. Go ahead and take him if you want.
4 shots, 4 hits.
Excellent.
Fist bump.
Fist bump, boom.
Spot.
And our first hog of 2026 is a 230-pound boar, and no fence wires were hit. Moving on to the next property.
Well, the wind is not in our favor. And it's a really noisy stalk. What do you want to do?
Just shoot from here.
Okay.
So we were stopped at a fence at this point that we had to cross through in order to find the hogs. But this is the stuff that the hogs were in and that we were crunching through in order to get to where we were. So it was not good for stalking at all.
Let's let this one join up with the other two.
Okay.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass
I
Recovery.
need to move over to the right. I got a tree in my way.
So Ben's got a tree or plant in his way. He's moving slightly off to the right.
Do I need to move too?
There are probably a lot more hogs in this field that we just can't see. So we opted for the closest hogs that were out in the open right next to the water tank.
Are you ready, Ben?
I'm taking the one on the right, but he has his butt towards me. Okay, I can take one.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
2 shots, 2 hits. So Ben is trying to finish off his second hog as I'm still working on my first. Well, I don't see anything wrong with the points of aim on either of these 2 shots. The only problem is the hogs didn't go down. I continued tracking on my hog. I pumped another round into it before it made it into the woods. Ben transitioned from his first hog to a second hog, pumped several rounds into it. It went down. When we went searching for the hogs, we ended up finding both of Ben's hogs. And once we were down in that area, we could not tell or have any idea exactly where my hog went from that perspective. And we didn't even bother searching for it in the woods, but it was just gone. So Ben came away with a 190-pound sow that had 6 on board, and then another 180-pound sow with another 4 on board, and we're not showing any of the fetuses because they were too bloody to be shown on YouTube. And now we've moved on to the low water crossing property. You've seen us shoot here many, many times, and in the last few weeks we've shot, I think, at this same sounder several times. That's unusual. Usually after you shoot at a sounder a couple times in the same location, they don't come back for a while. And this sounder, I think it's the same sounder, keeps coming back. Well, we found a way to get across the creek.
Closest pig on the far right is 116 yards.
116?
Yep, 116.
We often have to shoot across the creek because the wind doesn't allow us to move to the low water crossing in order to get across the creek to get to the hogs, but this time the wind was in our favor.
Are you good with the one on the far right?
I am.
Shooter ready?
Shooter ready.
3, 2, 1. I heard that. Oh, nice.
Unfortunately, I gave my runner everything. My opener. Nobody else.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, buddy. And you got what, 4 or 5 down over here?
No, 2. I think I hit 3. I'm gonna try the fifth bump. Boom. I'm gonna try shooting this long one, but he's down.
Nice
I hit
shot.
him.
Nice shot. I'm gonna go get the truck.
He's gonna be like at 350 yards.
Tip shot.
We were unable to locate my hog that ran, but otherwise we came away with 3 hogs recovered, including 2 mature sows, each that were pregnant, and a 90-pound male shote that was the long-distance shots of the night. Each of the sows was pregnant with 6 on board, although I don't think one of these was going to make it. These are from Ben's hog, and it turns out none of them made it.
He's not clear by enough.
No.
Ben spent a lot of time scanning this herd of cattle in order to find this pig, and a lot of time trying to talk me onto it.
Okay, see the 2 cows facing each other?
Yes.
If he moves between those.
Okay.
And then Ben looked away, and then he lost track of it, and now I'm trying to talk him onto it.
Are you clear? Do you have a clear path between them yet?
I need about 20 steps.
Oh, wow.
Since the hog is remaining among the cattle for so long,
Is it 230 yards, moving the wrong way?
the goal here is that we want to shoot at it through a gap in the cattle with no cattle behind it.
That dork.
Okay, how about if he keeps tracking?
If it keeps tracking and stays far enough behind the cows. 237 yards.
Okay, I'm willing to poke at him.
Alright, are you ready?
You want me to yell to see if he stops?
Yep, yell.
Hey!
Are you ready?
Ready.
3, 2, 1.
Nice hit. Track him. I didn't shoot because he shaded into a cow. So
Oh, you didn't shoot?
I did not.
And the 7th hog of the night turned out to be a 190-pound boar. 2 days later, and I have it from the horse's mouth, that the landowner had spied a very large sounder in the front hay pasture of the property. The only problem is the front hay pasture is a limited view area, and where I'm set up is on top of a hill, seeing a much greater area. So what I'm doing is watching deer most of the evening, and every hour or so creeping down in my truck down to the hay pasture to see if anything's down there. And for the most part, I was just watching deer. And after being there about 4 hours, I have a small sounder of hogs in the front hay pasture. Now the wind is in my favor, which is great, but the hogs already know I'm here. They were originally way up here when I came into the pasture, and they've moved away. And this last hog keeps looking back at me. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot from here before they get any ideas about running. And about this time I'm starting to discover that one of the legs of my tripod has come loose. So I'm fighting with tracking on the hog and keeping the tripod level at the same time. Well, I continue to have trouble with this sow. And despite numerous hits, she's about to make it to the creek. Well, that all came to an end, and I want you to notice the time in the right-hand corner, because 3 minutes later I've got more hogs. And in that time I tightened the tripod leg and I reloaded with Federal Spear TNT 90 grain bullets loaded by Drew Tail Army and Sterling Brass. And this would appear to be the large sounder the landowner was talking about.
Truck.
I was still zoomed in from the first group of hogs, and that was too much for the second group of hogs, and I never thought to change zoom. This property has the rule that no hogs can be left in the hay pasture, so I gathered up all the hogs I could find, which turned out to be 7. I notified the landowner and said, hey, if you see any more hogs in the hay pasture, let me know. I'll be back tomorrow to collect them. He told me he had seen 2, one little bitty one to not worry about, the coyotes would get it, and one large one I needed to come get. So I came back and got the picture of it, and these are the 9 hogs for the night. 2 nights later, I'm doing sit and spin. I sit in the truck and I let the InfiRay finder from Tech Savvy Optics spin on top of my truck. As I scanned the field around me, saw the hogs, got out. Here I'm going to freeze the action and explain more about what's going on with the image. The wind is blowing towards the hogs, which is bad for me. I'm not going to be able to make a stalk on the hogs. And the hogs are cruising from right to left across the field and moving away from me as near as I can tell. So I'm trying to determine if I have a shot by using my bearing optics Super Yoter LRF and getting a range on the hogs, and I'm getting 2 distances. I'm getting about 300 yards and I'm getting about 400 yards, and I figure the 300 yards is going to be the hogs. Now I know how much holdover I need on my ammunition, whatever I'm shooting, usually out to 300 yards. I memorize 200, 250, and 300 yards, and that usually covers all the holdover that I need. And so the hog looks to be about 300 yards. I figure I can take a poke at it. Now I know my holdover is going to be about 14 inches, and all I need to do is hold over 14 inches. And in order to know what 14 inches is, the only thing I have to go off of is the size of the hog, and hog sizes tend to vary considerably based upon weight. And I did a little bit too much holdover, and so my opening shots probably sailed just over the top of the hog. So this is the last frame before the shot broke, and at over 300 yards, this was always going to be a low percentage shot. I figured at best I would miss the hogs, I would scare the hogs, make them feel unwelcome, they would take off and leave the property, and at least for the evening the hogs would not be a problem. However, things turned out better than expected. So I'm going to tell you what all was wrong with the shot. I was thinking at the time the hogs had about 325 yards, and I did what I thought was an appropriate holdover for that distance, given how much the external ballistics fall off at distance for this lighter weight Grendel round, the 90 grain TNT. So I thought I was lined up about right. It turned out to be high. I was probably doing a holdover for about a 360 yard shot, but because the external ballistics are so bad, that bullet's going to be in the dirt long before it gets to the property line at 500 yards, so we're safe there. Another problem is that the lead of the hog was totally inadequate. I'm lined up on the shoulder of the hog. I know the hog is moving. I need to be lined up, minimally on the nose. I know it's in motion, so I should not be aiming at where I want the bullet to go. I need to be aiming well ahead of it. And for this hog, if it's moving at just 3 miles an hour, that hog's going to move 22 inches by the time my bullet gets there. If it's moving 4 miles an hour, that hog will have completely walked out from out in front of the bullet, and the bullet, even if I had the trajectory right, the bullet would have passed behind the hog. As I've made the decision to go ahead and shoot, I get steadied up on my rifle. And to my surprise, the hogs turned towards me. The splash of the bullet in the dirt tells me that my shot is too high and that the hogs have probably turned inside my far point-blank range. So now it's just a matter of leading them correctly.
Well,
so I came away with 2 hogs down, one at 130 yards and the other at 185 yards. The one down at 130 yards was this 230-pound sow, and she was pregnant with a total of 9 on board. The second hog was a 180-pound sow, also pregnant, and all that I could find were just 3 on board. So 2026 is off to a good start with more than 1 1/4 tons down.
3, 2, 1.
Carpet system.